Yo, it's your boy Luap coming back at it again with another video. In today's video, I will discuss if Paul will return in Pokemon Journeys. As someone who shares his name, but backwards, this topic is very important to me. The last time we saw Paul, he was off to visit and challenge Brandon after being defeated by Ash in the Lily of the Valley conference. Paul's battle with Ash was again referenced in Pokemon Journeys episode 68, where Gary mentioned seeing the battle on TV. This is another entry to my ongoing series of Will X Trainer or Pokemon return in Pokemon Journeys. I've already made banger videos in this series like Greninja, Serena, Clement, Bonnie, and May. If you want to see them, then feel free to click on the playlist in the description or in the pinned comment. This video was decided by you guys in the audience, so thank you to the 300 of you who participated in the poll to make this video happen. If you want to directly influence my next video, be sure to keep an eye out on the community tab. With all that being said, let's start by introducing Paul's character as he appeared throughout the series. Paul first briefly appeared in episode 2 of the Diamond and Pearl series, 2 Degrees of Separation, but wasn't properly introduced until episode 3 when Pokemon Worlds Collide. In this episode, Ash and Paul would have a 3-on-3 battle that ended in a tie. Paul would make many appearances throughout the Diamond and Pearl series, most notably in the Heart Home tag battle where he releases Chimchar, which Ash would take under his wing. Paul also appeared in the Pokeringer where he finished as a runner-up to the event with his Honchkrow and was also the catalyst for Ash's Staraptor to evolve. Paul and Ash had another iconic full 6-on-6 battle in front of Lake Equity where he was the catalyst for Chimchar to evolve into Monferno, as well as an amazing battle. Finally, in the Lily of the Valley conference, Paul would battle and defeat Barry in the top 16 to then face Ash in the top 8. In one of the best battles in the history of the anime, Paul was defeated by his former Infernape who finally mastered Blaze, which it couldn't do while under his ownership. This battle was a great end to the rivalry that was spread all throughout the series and concluded Paul's character arc quite nicely. After this battle, Paul would make his way to Snowpoint City to have a rematch with his father, Brandon, and presumably train with him. Paul's final appearance in Diamond and Pearl was episode 189, the semi-final frontier, where he watched Ash's battle with Tobias on the TV. And as I stated earlier, Paul was briefly mentioned by Gary in Pokemon Journeys episode 68, saying that he saw their top 8 match on the TV. That's a brief look at Paul's history as he appeared throughout the anime, but let's take a look at the Pokemon that he has on hand, as it could give us a clue as to whether or not he could return. Like Ash's other rival, Gary, Paul owns a wide array of different Pokemon. He has only used 14 in battles throughout the series, those being Electivire, Ninjask, Aggron, Gastrodon, Drapion, Frostlass, Torterra, Ursaring, Honchkrow, Weavile, Gliscor, Magmortar, Hariyama, and Nidoking. Whew, that was a mouthful. Again, these aren't the only Pokemon he has, because he has a few more species at his brother Reggie's place. Taking a look at the super official Luap Dex, which details Pokemon that have yet to make an appearance in Pokemon Journeys, we can see which of Paul's haven't made one yet. His Pokemon who still haven't made an appearance are Ninjask, Aggron, Frostlass, Honchkrow, Gliscor, and Magmortar. That's a whole 6 Pokemon we can see from just Paul's return, albeit they aren't his most used Pokemon except for Magmortar maybe. Now let's talk about how this could tie into his return in Pokemon Journeys. So, how can Paul fit into Pokemon Journeys? Well, here's a fanfic that I kind of imagine. Well, how I imagine it, perhaps we can see that Paul is part of a mini arc in Pokemon Journeys, perhaps just a few episodes. Since we know that he went back to Snowpoint City to train with Brandon, that could give us a huge clue. My own personal hope is that we see Ash and Go going to the Crown Tundra, and there we see that Brandon and Paul are in an expedition of their own. Brandon, with the 4 Reggies on hand, is going to take a look at both Regieleki and Regieleki. Paul, being his underling and his new assistant, is helping him track them down. Ash and Go are there because Go's final trial mission to become one of the trainers selected is to go and capture a Regieleki or a Regidraco. Once arriving at the temple that the Reggies are in, there's a big reunion with the 4 of them. Paul and Ash reminisce on their past battles and past experience, and Paul even shows some character growth by asking Ash how Infernape is doing. Perhaps Ash even brought Infernape with him on this trial mission and sends it out, and Paul greets it warmly. Further down the temple, there's a fork on the road and they need to split up. In order to gain the best footing possible, Ash goes with Paul, and Brandon and Go together. After all the Reggie stuff is concluded, Ash and Paul would have a mini battle to show off the progress that they both have gone through, perhaps ending in a tie. Ash tells Paul about the World Coronation series, as Paul says that it's something he's not interested in, maybe even calling it pathetic, and instead says that he's going to Galar, where he's going to go ahead and do the Galar Gym Challenge. This could be a catalyst for Ash to do so after the masterclass concludes. That's my personal fanfic as to how Paul could return and his story, but I'd love to know what you thought of my story, or even better, I'd love to hear your own personal fanfics in the comments below, so go ahead and comment them. Now let's discuss what are the actual possibilities of Paul returning in Pokemon Journeys. As discussed earlier, it might be difficult for Paul to make a return if we look at just his Pokemon that haven't appeared yet. However, even something as simple as a few seconds of Paul watching Ash's battle on TV at Reggie's house could fix that. it would show off his Pokemon watching the battle with him. The battle that he would watch, of course, in my opinion, is Ash's battle against Cynthia, because of course in the Diamond and Pearl series, Cynthia commented on how they would both meet in the Champions League at one point. Because Journeys is a series filled with rich continuity and stuff, it would be weird for them not to highlight one of the strongest rivals to Ash ever. On top of this, Journeys really likes their Diamond and Pearl continuity, so it just makes sense for Paul to return. Now let's take a look at Paul's voice actor, whose name is Kiyotaka Furushima. Kiyotaka's other major Pokemon roles include Emmett, as well as Ryuki, but he has had many minor roles throughout the series, most notably during the Diamond and Pearl as well as Black and White series. For my My Hero Academia fans like myself, he is also the voice of Hantasero. In recent years, he mainly only lends his voice for both Pokemon and My Hero Academia, but he has been in almost all of the recent Pokemon movies as well as side series like Twilight Wings. This probably tells us that he's in close contact with Pokemon and would be able to return if Paul were to make an appearance. Those are some of the positive points for his return that I could think of. Now let's play devil's advocate and look at some reasons against that. So, Paul, unlike a lot of other characters in the Pokemon anime, has gotten a complete character arc. He had a good story that was wrapped up amazingly well at the end of the Diamond and Pearl series, so a return for Paul would just kind of not help his character much. At most, I can see that they just show how much his experiences with Ash really changed his way of thinking and training. Another thing is that Paul was already mentioned in the flashback moment where they technically showed him off in episode 67. As such, one can argue that there is no longer a need to mention him anymore in the series. I mean, Sidlin, who is a major companion to Ash, has only gotten a mention through a flashback as well, so it could just be left to that. Looking back at Paul's voice actor, Kiyotaka has played very minor roles since playing Emmett, usually being a background character or just voicing Pokemon. That is a very minor point, but perhaps they just don't want him to play a main role, or maybe he can't because he's very busy recording for his other characters like Zero. A lot of people think that Paul will be in the Masters 8, and while I think it would be honestly amazing to have Cynthia's prediction come true, and for the winner of that battle to face her, I just don't see it happening. So if Paul wasn't set to return in the World Coronation series, we might not see him at all. So yeah, those are my reasons as to whether I think Paul could or couldn't return in Pokemon Journeys. While I do personally want Paul to make another appearance on the show, if I had to give my personal verdict, I'm going to lean with him not making a major appearance in the show again. With this character arc ending off so perfectly, it would just be so hard to justify a return. However, like I said, I would love to see him come back and show how much he has changed. That's it for me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit it with a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment letting me know how your fanfic for Paul, if he were to return the show, would be, or what you thought of mine. I'd love to hear everybody's different and varying ideas. But as always, it's been your boy Luap, and I'm out. Peace.